The email arrived at 6:14 a.m. It sat unread while the coffee maker hissed and clicked in the kitchen. By noon, it would be gone forever. And with it, everything he had spent 15 years building. When Daniel Mercer finally opened his laptop that morning, he wasn't thinking about saving his career. He was thinking about rent, about the dull ache behind his right eye that never fully went away anymore, about how silence in an apartment could feel louder than traffic. The laptop booted slow like it always did. The fan whined. The screen flickered once before settling. His inbox filled the screen. 73 unread emails. Most were noise. Promotions. Calendar reminders. Threads he'd been CC'd on and never read. Daniel scanned the subject lines with the numbing efficiency of someone who had learned not to hope. Then he stopped. One line stood out. Quick question. Saw your name come up. No logo. No exclamation points. No urgency. Just that. It was timestamped 6:14 a.m. From an address he didn't recognize. Daniel hovered his cursor over it. Then his phone buzzed. A text from his landlord. Rent? Daniel exhaled through his nose. He clicked away from the inbox. The email stayed unread. Daniel Mercer used to be important. Not famous, not powerful, but relevant. The kind of person whose name carried weight in small rooms and specific industries. For 12 years he worked in corporate communications, crisis management, reputation repair. When companies messed up badly, Daniel helped them apologize without admitting guilt. He wrote statements that sounded human but revealed nothing. He trained executives how to look sincere on camera. He was good at it. Too good sometimes. He told himself it was just a job. Everyone did. The decline wasn't sudden. It never is. It started with a missed promotion. Then a reorganization. Then a new director who liked buzzwords more than experience. Daniel became solid but not dynamic. Reliable but not visionary. The kind of phrases that sound harmless until you hear them often enough. At 43, he was older than most of his team. He still dressed the same way. Still showed up early. Still double-checked everything. But the meetings started happening without him. The decisions, too. By the time layoffs came, Daniel already knew. He was in the second wave. Not dramatic enough for the news. Just a calendar invite with HR. Unemployment did something quiet to him. It shrank his world. Days lost their edges. Mornings bled into afternoons. Afternoons into evenings spent staring at the same walls. He applied everywhere. Big firms, small agencies, startups that promised disruption. Most never responded. Some sent polite rejections. A few interviewed him, smiled, and went with someone younger. Someone cheaper. Someone hungrier. Daniel learned to nod. To say he understood. To pretend it didn't sting. That morning, the morning of the email, Daniel had an interview at 2. Another one, a mid-level role with a regional firm. Less pay, less responsibility, but stable. He needed stable. He printed copies of his resume even though they'd probably never look at them. He ironed his shirt. He practiced answers in the bathroom mirror. When he sat back down at his laptop to check directions, the inbox popped up again. The unread email was still there. Quick question. Saw your name come up. Daniel frowned. He almost clicked it. Almost. But the anxiety rose in his chest. Unknown emails often meant scams, or recruiters who ghosted, or worse, people asking for free advice. He didn't have the energy. He marked it as read without opening it, then archived it. The inbox refreshed. It disappeared. The interview went fine, which by then Daniel knew was a bad sign. Fine meant safe. Fine meant forgettable. The interviewer nodded a lot, asked about teamwork, asked about flexibility. Daniel answered carefully. Didn't sound desperate. Didn't sound arrogant. He shook hands, smiled, left with no real sense of how it went. On the walk home, his phone buzzed. An email notification. His heart jumped, then sank. Thank you for your time. Another rejection. He stopped walking, stared at the screen. People passed him on the sidewalk, moving fast, purposeful. He felt like he was standing still while the world leaned forward. That night, Daniel didn't sleep. He lay on the couch, TV on low, watching reruns he'd already seen. At 1:37 a.m., he opened his laptop again, scrolled through job boards, LinkedIn, Indeed. Nothing new. He checked his inbox, cleared spam, deleted promotions. Then he noticed something strange. The archived folder. It showed one unread message. Daniel frowned. He clicked. The email loaded. His stomach dropped. It was the one from that morning. Except now the subject line looked different. Not quick question. It had updated. Following up. Time sensitive. Sent at 9:02 a.m. From the same address. Daniel's pulse picked up. He opened it. Hi, Daniel. Sorry for the early note. Your name came up during a conversation yesterday with someone you worked with at Alden Group. We're putting together a small team for a confidential project and we're told you might be a fit. Timing is tight. If you're available to talk today, please reply here or call me directly. Best, Marissa. Below it was a phone number, a real signature, a real company name. Daniel stared at the screen. His mouth went dry. He searched the name. Marissa Klein, senior partner, one of the largest communications firms in the country. The kind of firm that didn't post job listings. The kind that hired quietly, selectively. Daniel's hands trembled. He checked the time. 1:42 a.m. The email had been sent almost 20 hours ago. He scrolled. There was another message beneath it, sent at 4:18 p.m. Daniel, just checking back. We need to finalize decisions by end of day. If I don't hear back, I'll assume timing isn't right. Wishing you well regardless. Daniel's chest tightened. He stared at the words until they blurred. End of day. It was already over. He grabbed his phone and dialed the number anyway. Straight to voicemail. He hung up, typed a reply, deleted it, typed again. His fingers felt slow, clumsy. Hi, Marissa. I'm so sorry for the delay. Just seeing this now. I would absolutely love to talk if there's still time. He read it twice. 3 times. Hit send. The email whooshed away. Daniel leaned back in his chair. Waited. The reply never came. Morning arrived without ceremony. Sunlight crept through the blinds. Daniel didn't move. He refreshed his inbox. Nothing. He refreshed again. Nothing. By noon he accepted it. The opportunity was gone, because he hadn't opened one email. For days after, Daniel replayed it. The moment his cursor hovered, the phone buzzing, the choice to click away. Such a small decision, barely conscious, yet it echoed louder than any rejection he'd received. He began checking his inbox obsessively. Every 5 minutes, every notification made his heart spike, every silence felt heavier. Nothing else like that came again. Weeks passed. Then months. Daniel took a contract job, temporary, low pay, no benefits. He told himself it was fine. He told himself to be grateful. But something inside him had shifted. A sense of trust, in timing, in instinct, cracked. He second-guessed everything. Every decision felt loaded. Every choice carried the weight of what if. One night, unable to sleep, Daniel searched the firm again. He read press releases, awards, client wins. Then he saw it. A brief mention in an industry article. Sources say the crisis response team assembled earlier this year played a key role in stabilizing the situation. No names, but he knew. He knew that could have been him. He closed the laptop, sat in the dark, and felt something close to grief. Not for a job, for a version of himself that almost continued. Years later, Daniel would still think about that email. Not every day, but often enough. Whenever someone asked him about missed chances, whenever he hesitated, whenever life felt narrower than it should have, he learned something uncomfortable, that careers don't always end with dramatic failures. Sometimes they end quietly, with an unopened message, a moment of exhaustion, a choice made while distracted. The email wasn't dramatic. It didn't announce itself. It didn't demand attention. It waited. And when it was ignored, it moved on. Just like the world does, Daniel eventually found peace. Not success the way he once imagined, but acceptance. He stopped chasing the version of himself that almost was, and started paying attention to messages, to moments, to the small decisions that don't feel important until they are. Because sometimes the thing that changes everything doesn't come with warning. It comes quietly, at 6:14 in the morning, and whether you open it or not decides more than you'll ever know.